Tolerance of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Class 8, Khataman Nabeen, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa sahabihi ajmain, Khataman Nabiyeen. Reading. Tolerance means to bear pain or hardships with patience. It also means to bear things you do not like. For example, when you are in a position to take revenge but you do not do so, you are displaying tolerance. The greatest tolerance was practiced by our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam wa alihi wa sahabihi wasallam Khataman Nabiyyin. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a model of tolerance. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam never wished ill for anyone. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha said that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never took revenge upon anyone. Abu Sufyan was the worst enemy of Islam before he became a Muslim. At the conquest of Makkah, Mukarramah, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam not only forgave him but also honored him by declaring amnesty for those who took refuge in his house. When the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Taif to preach Islam, the people there threw stones at him. Hazrat Gabriel alayhi salam asked the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the occasion of trial, Allah has heard your people saying to you, and what they have replied back to you. Allah has sent the angel of the mountains unto you so that you may order him to do whatever you wish to these people. The angel of the mountains called and greeted Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and then said, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, order what you wish. If you like, I will let al-Akhshabain, and that is two mountains, fall on them. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, but I hope that Allah will let them beget children worship and will worship none beside him. Al-Bukhari 3231. We should follow the teachings of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We learn from his life how much tolerance he sallallahu alaihi wasallam practiced. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed great tolerance throughout his life. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam even prayed for him, for his enemies, for those who troubled him, and for those who troubled him. In his sallallahu alaihi wasallam's last address, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, revenge for bloodshed, as was the custom in the days of ignorance before Islam, is forbidden. I forgive those who murdered my cousin Ibn Rabi'a. Hazrat Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, I served the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 10 years. By Allah, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam never objected unto anything I said or did. We as Muslims should follow the noble examples of the tolerance of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The deterioration and conflict prevailing in the society is due to lack of tolerance. These manners can be cured by following the noble examples set by our beloved Rasul Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A great virtue. Reading. Once there was an old man who lived in a forest. He lived there all alone in a small hut. He was thin, lean, and in rags. but was very kind and noble. He always liked to help others. One night there came a terrible storm in the forest, followed by heavy rain. The old man was busy in his work when he heard a knock at the door. He opened the door, and there stood before him a gentleman who spoke to him thus: "Sir, I am a hunter. I came to the forest to hunt, but due to this storm and the heavy rain, it is not possible for me to hunt. I cannot go back either. I am looking for shelter. I shall be grateful if you could let me spend the night here." The pious old man, without any hesitation, asked him to step in. He gave him a towel to dry himself. He then gave him a cup of hot milk to drink. The hunter looked around. It was a small hut with one small bed. Only one person could sleep on it. "Sir, this is a very small hut, and there is hardly room for two. How are we going to spend the night here, the two of us?" said the hunter. The pious old man said, "True, this hut is small, very small indeed, but if one has the will, one can manage." The hunter was satisfied with this answer. He started drinking the milk. There was another knock at the door. This time it was even louder. The old man opened the door. Now it was a farmer asking for shelter. "Sir, I'm a farmer, but in this heavy rain there isn't a thing that I can do. I can't even go home. Could you please give me shelter for the night?" The old man allowed the farmer to come in. He offered him a glass of milk. Now there were three men instead of two in that small hut. The farmer was surprised. He said, "Sir, this is a small hut, but this is a small hut. You already have a guest. How are we going to spend the night in this small hut?" The old man told the farmer that in case they could not sleep, they could at least sit all night. The weather outside was the weather outside became even harsher. Someone knocked very hard at the door again. The pious old man moved to open the door. The farmer, however, asked him not to do so. "There is hardly any room for the three of us in this hut. How could we accommodate any more people?" The farmer and the old man was very kind and generous. He could not see people in trouble. He was always ready to share with others whatever he had. He said to the farmer, "The weather was bad outside. You wanted shelter. You knocked at my door and I opened it. If I opened it for you, just imagine what might have happened if I had not allowed you in." The knocking at the door continued. The old man didn't wait to hear the farmer any more and rushed to open the door. This time there was a mother with her two small children shivering with cold. The old man asked them to come in at once and said unto the farmer, "Now see what would have happened unto the little children in the cold, stormy night." The farmer felt guilty and apologized to the old man. "I am very sorry, sir. I was selfish. Please forgive me. I'll never say such things again." The whole crowd spent the stormy night standing in that little hut. They chatted about all sorts of things and praised the kindness of their host. The old man set an example of a great virtue to be followed. The twins. Reading. In form and feature, face and limb, I grew so like my brother that folks got taking me for him and each for one another. It puzzled all our kith and kin. It reached a fearful pitch, for one of us was born a twin, yet not a soul knew which. One day, to make the matter worse, before our names were fixed, as we were being washed by nurse, we got completely mixed. And thus we see, by fate's decree, or rather nurse whim, my brother John was named me, and I was named him. These fatal likeness even dodged my footsteps when at school, and I was always getting flogged, for John turned out a fool. I put this question fruitlessly to everyone I knew. What would you do if you were me to prove that you were you? Let's make our roads safer. Reading. Every day when we go to school, offices, or markets, we have to use roads or pass through traffic. You must have noticed that sometimes people violate traffic laws, and this makes our roads insecure and unsafe. Majority of victims of road accidents, unfortunately, are young people below 30 years of age. Moreover, indiscipline on roads leads to traffic jams and congestions, which reflects negatively on as a nation. The question is whether the number of accidents and casualties can be reduced. The answer is yes. If we recognize road safety as a social issue and play our role and discharge our responsibilities, we can overcome this problem. The foremost responsibility of every citizen is to observe laws. Violations of a traffic law is an offense. None of us would ever like to be called an offender and get penalized. By observing traffic laws, we can avoid road accidents, save precious lives, and improve our country's image. The research shows that almost 80% of traffic accidents take place due to mistake or negligence of drivers. Main causes of accidents are overspeeding and rush driving. Overspeeding is the most crucial factor in causing fatalities, uh, fatalities or injuries in road accidents. Speed limits are specified for different roads. The drivers are required to drive their vehicles within the given speed limits and are supposed to reduce speed near schools, colleges, hospitals, urban areas, and during inclement weather conditions. Violations of prescribed speed limits not only endangers lives of road users but can also invoke penalties and legal actions under traffic laws. Use of mobile phones while driving. Using mobile phone while driving is a potentially dangerous act which can cause serious accidents. It diverts the driver's attention, and we should avoid using mobile phones while driving and discourage others also. from doing so, as it is prohibited under traffic laws and is highly dangerous. Not wearing seat belts. Wearing seat belts by drivers and passengers in a vehicle can save lives. During an accident, the seat belt can reduce the risk of fatal injuries by 50 to 60%. Not wearing the seat belts is also punishable under traffic laws. We must therefore always wear seat belts before starting our journey. Not wearing safety helmet. Motorcyclists are highly vulnerable to fatal accidents. Many students use motorcycles or cycles for going to their institutions, but often they do not wear a safety helmet. Wearing helmet gives protection against severe head and face injuries in case an accident and increases the chances of survival by 80%. Violating traffic signals. Traffic signals are important tools to manage the traffic. It is mandatory to stop on a red signal. Passing a red signal is a serious violation of traffic laws and we should never commit it. We should also respect and obey the traffic officers manually managing the traffic. Violating lane discipline. A road is divided in lanes through road markings, white lines. Lanes are meant to maintain traffic discipline. We should keep in a particular lane and indicate properly before we change that lane. Lane straddling may cause a serious accident and invoke a fine under traffic laws. Extreme left lane is for heavy and slow-moving vehicles, and extreme right lane is for overtaking. Violating traffic signals, traffic signs. Traffic signs on the roadside carry important information for road users. Violating these signs can be potentially dangerous for ourselves as well as for others. As responsible road users, we should not only take steps to save our own and others' lives, but should also observe road courtesies and to help create a better environment on roads. Whenever the driver hears the siren of any emergency vehicle, ambulance, fire brigade, or police vehicle, he should give a left signal, giving space into the right lane vehicle until safety come to the left lane, leaving the right lane free for the emergency vehicle to speed up. The red light flashing of such vehicles means a life is at risk. The driver must give way unto them so they can quickly get onto the scene to help the ones in trouble. Traffic discipline reflects the civility of a society. We should prove ourselves as a law-abiding and responsible nation. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Reading. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was the second caliph of Islam. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu was born at Makkah Mukarramah into a noble tribe called the Quraysh. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu received the title of Farooq after he embraced Islam. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu was one of the very few persons in Makkah Mukarramah who could read and write. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu was a tall, strong and brave man. He was also a very good wrestler, horse rider and swordsman. Business was his occupation. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu's conversion to Islam was of a great value to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his mission of spreading Islam. Afterwards, he radiallahu ta'ala anhu remained very close unto the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Khatman Nabiyyin. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu remained Caliph for 10.5 years. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu conquered a vast empire during his caliphate. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu introduced a great system of administration which served as a model for the Islamic world. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu introduced many reforms during his reign, such as administrative courts to investigate complaints against the offices of the state. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu also reformed army, police force and tax system. The worship places and property of the non-Muslims were also given protection. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu gave great importance to justice and well-being of the people. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu would not spare anyone in the case of judgment. For him, high and low, rich and poor were all equal before law. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu followed the saying of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, treat your servant as you would treat yourself. He, the master and the servant are both equal before Allah Almighty. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was kind and sympathetic to the poor. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu spent many sleepless nights in disguise roaming in the streets to see the condition of his people. One night he radiallahu ta'ala anhu passed by a house and heard children crying. There was a pot of water on the fire. The mother was telling the children to go to bed, and when the food was ready, she would wake them up, but the children would not listen. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu asked the woman, what is the matter? She told him that there was nothing to eat. There was no money and grain in her house. As her husband had died, the children were crying for food. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu helped the widow with food, money and clothing. One day, while Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was offering namaz in the masjid, a non-Muslim named Firoz killed the Caliph with a knife. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu lies buried near Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu in Medina Munawwara. Sports and sportsmanship. Reading. Sports and physical education are fundamental to the rapid healthy development of children and youth. These skills that have learned from sports contribute to the entire development of young people. Through participation in sports, they learn about the importance of key values such as honesty, teamwork, fair play, respect for themselves and others, and adherence to rules. The ancient Roman proverb, mens sana in corpore sano, meaning a healthy mind in a healthy body, holds good in today's modern world. It is essential to take care of our physical and mental fitness and to boost our performance. Students have a busy schedule, so sports play a vital role and to shake at the bottom of sports give physical strength and increase mental power. Outdoor sports like cricket, football, hockey, etc. improve physical health. Mental strength can be achieved through indoor sports like chess, brain games, etc. It makes our body fit and helps us perform well. Sports is competitive. It has many breathtaking moments which are source of joy. Some eyes shed tears and some faces smile, but in the end it all comes down to what is important, like shaking hands and showcasing sportsmanship. It teaches to work in a team that is helpful for collaboration in every walk of life. Students should manage their time for sports as well. Recent studies have shown that the students who give equal importance to sports also along with studies are achievers in professional life as compared to those who neglect it. Sports makes a person strong-willed and disciplined, just like Brain G said. Sportsmanship is an understanding of and commitment of fair play, ethical behavior, and integrity, and a general goodwill towards an opponent. Sports helps deal with immense mental pressure, global pandemic, a shaking economy, pollution, and much more faced in a daily life. Pakistan is a culture-rich country. It has some sports as part of the culture and some are celebrated like national events. There are many sports played in Pakistan, but some of the most major ones are cricket, field hockey, squash, polo, football, traditional kabaddi. Hockey is the national game of Pakistan. It is played throughout the country. In the history of Pakistan, hockey is as old as that of the country itself. Pakistan recorded extraordinary conquests between 1956 and 1986 which are still unmatched. Three times during the period, Pakistan won the Olympics and a World Cup crowns. The Asian Games title was won six times, and the Champions Trophy in the first 2 years of its inauguration. Two times Pakistan held Asian Olympics and a World Cup crowns, three of the world's most prestigious titles. No other hockey-playing country has achieved such victory in the history of the game so far. Cricket is most significant sport for Pakistanis. It is not only a sport for Pakistanis but also an emotion. It is played in grounds, streets, houses, house yards, rooftops, and at any place on which a bat can swing and a ball can bounce. Pakistan has notable achievements in its history of cricket. Pakistan won a Cricket World Cup 1992, ICC World Cup 2020 in 2009, ICC Championship Trophy 2017, and has many other achievements in its ventures of cricket. Pakistan is the most famous nation in the world of squash as well. It has the record of winning 17 world openings and the only nation with winning of 12 British Opens and players like Jahangir Khan who remained unbeaten even after 555 consecutive matches. Pakistani women are without a doubt the most talented ladies in the world. From quite some time, their focus on sports has broadened their vision, resulting in some wonderful accomplishments by Pakistani women in sports. Some of the notable women in the field of sports are Sana Mir. Sana Mir is representing as the captain of Pakistan women's cricket team. She is the only one to stand in the world's top 20 individual rankings and a two-time gold medal winner in Asian Games. Kiran Baloch is also a renowned player with a Test cricket world record of the highest score in a women's test match with 242 runs. In hockey, Rushna Khan is a goalkeeper of national team and has represented Pakistan internationally in Sydney, Australia. She is the first player to have signed for an international hockey club. Sana Aziz excelled in tennis and became the first ever Pakistani woman to represent the country and win an International Tennis Federation ITF Futures main draw match, future main draw match, and earned a ranking point in 2008. Pakistan Sports Board (PSB), under the Ministry of Labour Provincial Coordination, is the premier authority for promoting sports in the country. It monitors the activities of affiliated national sports federations. At present, 41 national sports federations and 3 departments are affiliated with the board. Each federation is responsible for promotion and development of its respective sports. It has sporting facilities at its coaching centers at provincial headquarters. These facilities are used for national training campus and holding of various national and international competitions. The Earth Speaks. Reading. The turning earth spoke in a somber voice. 4 seasons I give you, its deep voice said. I give you spring when the lilacs bloom. I give you autumn when the maple is red. Summer I give you all crowned with sunshine, and winter of snow and icicle spears. 4 seasons I give you with all their joys, and all their pleasures and all their fears. Take my 4 gifts and use each one, use each wisely, kindly and well, so that upon the year's last hour a worthy record ye date to tell. The turning earth spoke but once again. 4 seasons I give you, its voice was low. The gifts are yours, and yours is the task to use my gifts as best you know. The turning earth spoke but once again. 4 seasons I give you, its voice was low. The gifts are yours, and yours is the task to use my gifts as best you know. Settling the quarrel. Reading. Quarreling is always harmful, whereas blessed are those who are peacemakers. Haji Usman was a wise old man who lived in a little village near Faisalabad. The villagers respected him very much for his piety and sought his advice on various matters. Haji Usman many times acted as a conciliator and to settle quarrels. One day, Haji Usman was sitting outside the masjid when he heard a noise in the distance. It seemed like a fight between two people. As he approached, he saw two men angrily arguing, fighting with each other. Haji Usman quickly recognized the two men as Harun and Salman, two of his neighbors. On seeing Haji Usman, one of the villagers said to him, Haji Sahib, these men have a dispute between them. Salman has accidentally destroyed some of Harun's crops by driving his tractor through Harun's fields. Now both are fighting and quarreling. Each of them blames the other. Please, Haji Saab, do something to end their quarrel, otherwise there might be bloodshed. Haji Usman knew that in order to be just, he would have to listen to them both in turn. Only then he could arrive at a fair point. He instructed Salman to stay quiet while Harun expressed his grievance. He then asked Harun to explain the matter truthfully. Harun began to explain the matter. I am a very hard-working farmer, Haji Sahib. I plough my land in the scorching sun the whole day. I have a family to support, and it is for them that I work so hard all the year. But today, Salman has run his tractor uh, over my yields and destroyed a large portion of my crops. Now I want him to pay for my loss. Haji Usman then turned his face toward Salman and asked him to explain his side. Salman began to say, I am also a hard and honest worker, Haji Sahib. I use my tractor to plough fields for some of the landholders in this village for a wage. I use a road that runs through Harun's fields. Most often his sheep come on the road as he leaves them unguarded. I have often complained to him that I have many times missed hitting his animals. He should have been more careful of his head, since the road is for everyone. Today, while I was driving my tractor on this road, some of Harun's sheep suddenly came running on the road. In a worry, I steered into Harun's fields to avoid hitting the animals and smashed my tractor into a wall. It is heavily damaged now and needs to be repaired. It is Harun's fault, and that he did not stop his sheep from getting on the road. So I want him to pay for the damage to my tractor. Haji Usman took some time to think. He wanted to give such a decision that would reconcile the relations of the two. Finally, he stood up and said, After listening to you two, I have come to the conclusion that both of you deserve some return from each other. And since Salman needs his tractor repaired urgently, Harun will provide money for it immediately. But next year, Salman will help Harun to plough his fields. In this way, he will make up for the damage he did to his fields. Now you must stop fighting and be friends again. The decision pleased both Harun and Salman. They shook hands and apologized to each other and also thanked Haji Usman for his wise counsel. Mountaineering. Reading. Conquering mountains has always fascinated the man. Mountain climbing is a risky and dangerous sport, but it is full of an extraordinary thrill of excitement and a spirit of adventure which even the climbers cannot explain completely. Despite the fact that it involves the highest risk, it does not discourage the climbers from undertaking the mission of mountaineering. Once the most challenging assignment was to conquer the highest peak of the world, Mount Everest. This dream came true when Tenzing Norgay and Sir Edmund Hillary conquered it in 1953. The entire world admired this great task. Since then, the climbers of the world have always tried to climb Mount Everest. A mountaineer must have the spirit of adventure. This will encourage him to continue his struggle for climbing the peak till he conquers it. He must be prepared to accept the challenge of risks and hardships while climbing narrow ledges and steep hillsides. He needs extraordinary courage to continue his mission in bad weather conditions as well as in dangerous situations. Mountaineering is a classified and well organized sport. There are a number of regular institutions all over the world where this sports is taught as an independent subject. The most advanced and perfect tools and kits are used to ensure the safety of climbers. The students in the discipline of mountaineering are trained to handle the equipment to take care themselves while climbing. This has reduced the risks, but still, there have been instances of the loss of valuable lives. Muhammad Ali Satpara, one of Pakistan's most celebrated climbers who had ascended eight of the world's highest mountains, lost his life along with his and two other fellow climbers in an attempt at climbing K2 in winters of the year 2021. The sport is full of difficulties and hardships. As soon as someone starts climbing up, the oxygen becomes lesser, which makes breathing difficult. In these circumstances, the supply of artificial oxygen is essential, and it should be used by the mountaineer continuously to avoid any accident. As the climbers go higher, the weather becomes unpredictable and there may be an unexpected storm. In this storm, the winds are so strong that the climbers' tent may be swept away. Occasionally, it starts to snow while one is climbing up the peak, but the mountaineer has to continue his mission without being daunted by it. The adventurous mountaineer takes these types of problems with ease and keeps the eye on his goal. The climber walks through the soft snow to climb up. He has to keep himself well protected during his task, otherwise, he will have to face danger of getting frostbite. As a result, some part of his body may become completely numb and even damaged due to stoppage of blood circulation. Although the physical strength is essential, a mountaineer also should have spiritual power of mind and heart as well. as they will provide him with strong willpower and the heroic courage to achieve his goal. The mountaineer is aware of the dangers of risks of it, but he fearlessly and bravely attempts to conquer the peak, knowing the fact that he might even return. He might never return. Thus, mountain climbing is one of the dangerous and challenging sport, and it strengthens the qualities of bravery and courage in the sportsman. The dignity of labor. Reading. The dignity of labor means respect and value given unto all forms of work and refers to equal respect for the jobs that involve manual labor. There is no job or profession which is inferior, and we must respect the professionals of all fields. Many people have migrated into urban areas because of the tough living style of village life. Not only this, the main profession or occupation of village is also thought to be a low paid profession. Therefore, the number of farmers is decreasing day by day. If we look around ourselves, we will be acquainted with the fact that farmers are the backbone of every society. They are the ones who cultivate the crops and we get food that we eat every day. As a result of the entire population of the country depends upon farmers, and if the farmers stop cultivating crops, there will be famine and starvation. Farming is an important profession but requires hard labor with good knowledge of cultivation of different crops. Ahmed is a student of grade 8. His father is a farmer by profession. He farms crops of wheat, barley, and rice. He often discusses in class that my father works from morning to evening in the fields and comes home exhausted. His father has received education of agriculture from Faisalabad Agriculture University. Therefore, most of the time he has bumper crops every year and earns a good profit. But many of the farmers are not well educated. About the time of cultivating different crops and the fertilizers that are good for their harvest, thus face a loss and get discouraged that their hard work bore has not borne a fruit. Ahmed's father has told him that if the farmers are respected and appreciated, country will progress. And before the creation of Pakistan, the subcontinent was called Golden Sparrow because of the fertility of the land and bumper crops. That is why many nations tried to occupy this land. Though we have a modern equipment and best fertilizers now, but less steps are taken to educate the farmers. Many countries are progressing rapidly because their agricultural production is increasing tremendously as a result of their painstaking research in this field. These countries work very hard to educate their farmers and facilitate them in their needs. In this way, they work more diligently for the betterment of the country. All the farmers must have the fruit of their labor and a due respect in the society so that the number of farmers may increase. The government should encourage farmers by introducing more productive projects in the field of agriculture. Give to your country. Our dear country is great and good. All the laws that are made are laws to keep us happy and well, peaceful and unafraid. Then don't you think that such a country deserves some help from you? Under the name of citizenship, give your country her due. Give her service and give her all. Give her of your best. Let your country action, let your actions and your words, a wealth of love attest. You owe a debt, and it is paid with patriotic words and deeds. Under the name of citizenship, answer your country's needs. Trees plantation. Talk time. What is an email? Read the given email and identify its features. To abcpakistan at gmail.com. Subject: Invention to visit, invitation to visit Azad Jammu and Kashmir. My dear Fahad, I hope that you and your family are in best of your health. As our summer vacations are approaching, I invite you to visit my native land, Azad Jammu and Kashmir. If you want to witness the beauty of nature in its purest form, then Kashmir is the place you should visit. It is known as heaven on earth due to its evergreen forests, freshwater lakes, and streams. Its historical building will be the spots where you find the wonder of ancient architecture. I hope you will reply me soon with the happy news of your arrival. Please inform me about the date of your arrival so that I can do necessary arrangements for your stay. Your loving friend, Astor Javed. Diary writing. Date 21st March 2020 and 2022. Dear Diary, today we celebrated National Tree Plantation Day at our school. Our teachers and the school gardener Uncle Tias planted a plant of roses in a school garden. It was really a fun day. In the morning assembly, we heard teacher told us that cutting of trees has increased the risk of natural disasters. If we want to save our earth and creatures living on it, we should plant more trees to make the Mother Earth beautiful and green. You know, what? You can never believe it. She also briefed that our government has set the goal of go green and to comfort the challenge of climate change. Oh, I am so excited. In order to achieve the target, we are also going to plant seedlings. This time, our head teacher shared with us the steps of sapling plantation. This Friday, we are going to plant something with our school gardener Uncle Riaz. Let me tell you the steps which the teacher had told us. Seed, take the seeds and then it comes out seedlings, water, seed, put the seeds, water them, seedlings will appear, more keep watering every day, and then a plant will grow, and then there will be, I think, what it is, leaves, and I don't know why this cup of tea is coming. Anyway, this is a fruit. Oh, sorry. And this is a tree and fruit is collected in the basket, and then once again the seeds are collected, and the seeds once again they are sown, and similarly this cycle this continues. So this is the fruit, and the other fruit is in the baskets. So I will come back to you when I will plant something. And see you soon, my dear friend. Date 25th March 2022. My dear diary. Hello, I'm again excited to tell you what happened today. When we went to school, we were divided into groups. Each group shoveled a small area and planted a sapling there. After that, we watered and prayed to Allah to make it grow healthy and strong. The head teacher said that it is the duty of group members to look after the sapling. And the next year, on the plantation day, the group whose sapling would grow into a healthy tree will be rewarded. And you know what? When we came back to our class, my class teacher assigned duties and duty days to us. We have a chart in the class where we can find our duty and duty day. Oh, I really wish that my group wins this competition. And yes, there is a secret which I wanted to share with you also. I talked to my father and asked him to bring plant pots to our home. It is going to be a surprise for mom. I want to see a bright smile on her face when she will see those plants. After all, whatever we learn, whatever we learn from school benefits us at home. See you next time. Your best buddy, BB.